You're listening to Raíz. I'm Derek Barcenas. This is a space where we pause the noise, where we try to think clearly, live deliberately, and question what we've inherited. Today's episode is a sort of reflection, not on something dramatic or trending, but on something a little bit more subtle. How do we begin to live with intention when so much of what we do is automatic? How do we see clearly when most of what we think we are is simply inherited? This episode won't give you a 5-step plan. It won't tell you to meditate or journal, but it will ask for you to listen to the parts of yourself that don't often get heard. Let's begin. Part 1. The invisible momentum of life. The hard knock truth is, most people aren't really living their lives. They're actually being lived by them. We wake up and start reacting. Emails, notification, traffic, hunger, regret. It all comes in a rush. And inside that rush, it's easy to forget that we have any sort of choice in the matter. But the truth is, we do. The very first thing to do or to realize is you are not the author of most of your thoughts or any of your thoughts. They appear on their own, uninvited, automatic. Sit in silence for 2 minutes and you'll see exactly what I mean. Your mind will hand you fragments. A memory from last week, a craving, a regret, a TikTok soundbite, a face that you haven't seen in years. This is the mind on autopilot. And if we build our lives on that, on unexamined thoughts, cultural defaults, emotional reflexes, we drift, we decay. We mistake noise for depth. Krishnamurti once said, "The ability to observe without evaluating is the highest form of intelligence." But we're not taught to observe. We're taught to react. Part 2. The structure of self-deception. Who are you really? Are you your name, your job, your memories, your beliefs? Most of what we call identity is performance. A reaction to external forces. Culture told you what was admirable. Family told you what was acceptable. Fear told you what was safe. So you shaped yourself to fit. You adjusted your voice. You hid certain feelings. You leaned into what earned praise. You softened what drew shame. It's not a flaw. It's survival. But over time, that survival mask can suffocate you. You keep living a script that you didn't write, saying yes when you mean no, chasing goals you don't really believe in, pretending to be fine when you're not. The way forward isn't to tear the mask off and scream. It's to observe the mask, notice it, question it, to ask, what parts of me were constructed? What parts still serve me? And what am I ready to shed? You are not a fixed thing. You're a process, a pattern, a phenomenon unfolding in time. Part 3. Attention is a moral act. Let's talk about attention. What you pay attention to, you grow. If you feed anxiety, it grows roots. If you obsess over old failures, they harden into identity. And if you let your attention be hijacked all day by apps, ads, outrage, and comparison, you are outsourcing your life. You don't get this hour back. You don't get this week back. You only get now. Mindfulness isn't about being calm all the time. It's about becoming aware of what's pulling your focus so you can choose what deserves it. Because that's what makes us free. Not the absence of struggle, but the presence of choice. Part 4. Culture is the first soil. Let's zoom out. Our minds don't grow in isolation. They grow in a cultural climate. And a lot of that climate is contradictory. We're told, be confident, but not arrogant. Be desirable, but not provocative. Be ambitious, but never selfish. Be vulnerable, but never weak. You can feel it especially in communities of color. In Mexican culture, we're raised around loud joy and quiet shame. Stoicism is honored, but unprocessed pain leaks through in sarcasm, alcohol, or control. The point isn't to blame culture. It gave us a lot. But we have to admit when it starts to cost us too much, to pause and say, do I really believe this? Or am I just afraid to be different? That's mindfulness too. Not just noticing your breath, but noticing programming. Part 5. The case for silence. Silence is not the absence of sound. It's the absence of noise. But today, silence feels almost illegal. We fill every gap with something. Music, podcasts, news, screens, options. I might be a victim of podcasts. Or now I've made you my victim. Why? Because if we sit quietly for too long, we start to feel. And some of what we feel isn't pretty. So we reach for a distraction, just simply like a reflex. But here's the truth. What we avoid will own us. What we observe can change us. Closing reflection. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not a project to be fixed. You are a living system, unfolding, evolving, remembering. Some parts of you are being revealed. Some are being shed. Some are being born. So I'll leave you with a question. What have you been living out without realizing it? And what might happen if you begin to notice it? That's it for today. I'm Barcenas, and this is Raíz. If you'd like to end this episode with a few minutes of stillness, I'll guide you through a short mindfulness practice. And if you're closing this episode here, thank you for listening. I'll see you next time. Let's begin. Find a position that feels steady but not rigid. Eyes open or closed, whichever allows you to feel present. Take one slow breath in and gently exhale. There's nothing to fix here, just noticing the breath. Notice the rise and fall. If your mind happens to wander, that's okay. Just observe it and return. Let this very moment be enough. Feel your body where it touches the floor or the chair. Feel the weight of your presence. Stay for just a few more quiet breaths. Now take one deeper breath. And slowly exhale. Open your eyes if they were closed. And carry this attention with you. Thank you for sitting with me. Thank you for listening. This has been Barcenas, and I'll see you next time.